Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. As always, for those who know me, those who don't know me, I'm Leon. I'm the head trainer here from Back to Basics Dog Training, and each and every Saturday morning, I bring you this live free dog training Q&A session here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel as well. Always excited to be here. I'm going to start off this week a little different than normal. I'm thinking about changing the format, and I'm going to put this in the beginning because people do watch the replay, and I want to get everybody's opinion. So we're thinking about changing the format a little bit, and what it's going to be is going to be the same platform, Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. That still might change, but instead of me just rambling on for the half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, watching people type questions. By the way, if you're here, let me know you're here. Let me in the comments, shoot me a, hey, what's up? What I'm going to do is during the week, I'm going to ask people to email me their questions. And I'm going to invite them on live with me to help them with their specific dog's needs. You guys can see them. You guys can be part of it, asking them questions, asking me questions, of course. So the goal of the newer programming will be me talking for 10, 15 minutes and having 2 to 3 guests per week asking me questions directly. I'll have them via email, so I'll have a little bit of a background story, and then we'll invite them onto camera. So let me know what you guys think of that, if it'll be beneficial to you, because then you get to see it from and hear it from real people. But with that being said, and I'll be posting that out there on my Facebook page, Remember Me Rescue's Facebook page, with my email address to start this process going. And, every week I'm going to try to pick 2 or 3 people. I'm not sure when it's going to start. It depends on the feedback I get. So with that being said, again, good morning and welcome. This week's subject is going to be with more talking about, every week I talk about mastering the walk. I talk about it. I want to drill it into everybody's head about mastering the walk. And the walk is so crucial to your dog, for structure, for leadership. We know all this. Dilemma being is now we're getting into the summer months. It's getting hot. You got to be careful what we do with our dogs. So this is going to be a little bit more about the safety until I start seeing some questions come up or comments come up. Guys, keep in mind, the hotter it is outside, the ground is hot too. The tar, the concrete is hot. There's charts all over Facebook. You can find the averages. If it's 90 degrees outside and sunny, how hot is the blacktop? How hot is the concrete? That is not my area of expertise. But it's not an excuse not to walk the dogs. Go to grassy areas and practice mastering the walk in grassy areas. Be smart about it. To test the concrete or the blacktop, of course, you put your hand down. I think it's 7 seconds. If you can hold your hand there for 7 seconds without feeling like your skin's peeling off, it's pretty good to go for a walk. If it's too hot after, don't do the walk on the blacktop or concrete. Find grassy areas. Take your dog in a car, go to a park that's dog friendly, and work on mastering the walk. Again, with the hotter weather, safety. Bring plenty of water, not only for yourselves, but bring plenty of water for your dog. They sell those collapsible bowls now, which are really, really great. Good morning, Michelle and Athena, Rob. But the hot weather is no excuse not to walk the dog. The same way I say cold weather is no excuse not to walk your dog. But you have to be a little bit smarter about it. Work in the grassy areas, preferably shady areas. If you have nature trails that are shaded, that's even better, of course. And also keep in mind the breed of dog you're working with. Know the breed of dog you're working with, because some breeds react to heat differently than other breeds. If you have a husky, it's not going to do very well in the heat. It's not going to be able to go out there for that hour walk that I would love to see everybody do. You have to be smarter about it for the health of your dog. Keep an eye on your dog's body language, the panting, the tongue, all that when you're out there in this heat. Make sure your dog stays hydrated and you stay hydrated. It's so crucial. I know everybody wants to work with their dogs. It's great. Get out there, work with your dogs as much as possible. Just keep some common sense stuff in the back of your head. Bring the water, bring the bowl, bring extra water, just even if you have to, pour it over the dog just to cool the dog's core temperature down, or yourself. I saw somebody here the other day. It was 90 degrees, and they have a little English bulldog, and it was running around, and I can see it was overheating very quickly. Those type of dogs, um, right? Shorter, stout dogs, pugs, are very susceptible to having problems with the heat. And of course, the more fur, more hair they have on them, the same issue. You have to be diligent, guys. Work with your dogs, but if it's too hot, I think up north it's supposed to be in the 90s today too, so it may be too hot to work with your dog for an hour outside. Work 15, 20 minutes outside if it's not overwhelming to your dog. And even though it's only 15, 20 minutes, have water with you. I can't stress it enough. I see so many people walking around playing with their dogs, doing all this in this heat, and where's your water source? You know, uh, my normal afternoon walk with Zoe when I go around is usually about 45 minutes. I've cut that down. Yesterday it was 95 degrees out. Literally, our afternoon walk was out the building, along the grass concourse over here, back into the building. She peed, she did her business. It was too hot for her. She's getting older. The heat's not good for her. She loves it, but it's not good for her. So I shortened the walk. She wasn't thrilled with me, but that's okay. So that's my public service announcement for today. I hope it's beneficial to you guys. Like I said, if you're watching, I see people on there, shoot me a comment and let me know you're watching. Um, and let me know what you think about my new platform that I'm thinking about introducing. I'll be putting it out there again this week on Facebook for you guys to start. We have been working in the yard, 30-foot lead. It's been easier to control her. Hi, Kathy. Um, Control her than the shorter leash. Wow. Getting better with recall, and she can't redirect because she's further away. Yeah, and that's a great solution. The 30-foot lead. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's great thinking outside the box. Um, as long as you can still get the end result, which is if she's reacting to that dog on the other side of the fence with the 30-foot lead, you make a correction, she stops, you praise her. And what I would do, and again, you're doing a great job, so who am I to say anything? But what I would do is, even at the 30-foot lead, if she stops the nonsense, go over to her, pet her, praise her, and then walk away again. So she understands, hey, this is what you really want me to do. And it's working with this 30-foot leash. So, guys, 30-foot leash is a great tool, especially when you're working on recall and your dog understanding from 30 feet away, you still have to listen to me. Um, so it's real important. That's great. Thank you for bringing that up. I kind of love that concept, and it takes that fear of her redirecting away because she's 30 feet away. She can't redirect. I mean, if she did, she'd have to run 30 feet to get to me. By that time, I have time to react. Um, but that's great. Keep up building up her confidence in you, and your confidence in her, so we can graduate to getting her out there on the walk. But that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. I wish I would have thought of the 30-foot leash. It's something else I put in the back of my mind. It's in my toolbox now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so we're going to talk about some stuff that I've been seeing recently, and I'm going to use my own dog as an example. I have the rubbery one, so doesn't doesn't hurt my hand when she pulls. I didn't even know they made a rubbery 30-foot leash. But that's pretty cool. The only problem with the rubbery type of leads, I call them bungee leads, is it's very hard to get to the correction on the collar because you're stretching so much material. But if it's working, go for it. Who am I to say? Guys, I talk about certain tools, things I like, things I don't necessarily like. But if it works for you, it's a good tool. I'm not a big fan of harnesses. I've worked with people. I tell them I'm not a big fan of harnesses. But the people that use them, that have success with them, great. Just because it's not part of my normal repertoire doesn't mean that they're not good tools. Just something I have. I may not be the best person at using harnesses, so that's why I don't recommend them, whatever. But if it works for you, do it. That simple. As long as you're not hurting or scaring the dog in the process, do it. Use it, whatever. Because that's what it's about. It's about showing the success so you can build your confidence, one with your dog, one in yourself, and same thing with the dog. You build the confidence for your dog in the dog's own ability, and you build the dog's confidence in you. And that's what this is about, guys. We keep it looped around one arm and let it out. Yeah. Um, so again, it's all about the confidence. If you're more confident in what you do, and this is anything in life, but it definitely works with the dogs. If you're more confident in everything that you're doing with your dog and you trust the process of what you're doing with your dog is going to sense your energy, that you're confident in what you're doing, and they're going to trust you more. And it's like any other relationship. If you don't have good trust, you don't have a good relationship. If you don't trust your significant other not to step out on you, what type of relationship is that? And that's the same thing with the dog. If I trust my dog to do what I need them to do or I ask them to do, it's trust. So I'm going to talk about some of the things I've seen about this week until we start seeing some questions come up. And I'm going to use my own personal dog as an example. Now, everybody knows I talk about Zoe, and I think Zoe's a phenomenal dog, but she's still a dog and she will make mistakes. One of the things I can't stand with any of my personal dogs throughout the years is dogs that steal food. Be it counter surfing, you put it on the coffee table because you're eating in the living room or whatever, and a dog steals food. It's unacceptable to me because some of the foods we eat, we know are bad for the dogs. Well, this week we had an example. My daughter was eating a sandwich, left it down on the coffee table by her chair, and lo and behold, my little crapper Zoe decided she wanted that sandwich. Now she didn't. She pulled it off the table, but she didn't eat it because we were right on top of it, and which is very unusual because for years I've been able to leave food anywhere and she won't touch it. So I don't know what happened, and again, I don't care why it happened. She made a mistake. I got up. I'm like, and as soon as I got up, she went right to her dog bed. She knew she made a mistake. I didn't have to say much because my energy was, I'm disappointed. And then I walked over to where the food was on the floor and I called her over, and that dog did not want to come near me. She was like, oh man, I screwed up. I disappointed my pack leader. So I made her come to me and I made her sit there with the food on the floor. A couple seconds, not long because these things don't last long. And then I released her and she went back to her dog bed and sulked. And then later on in the day, I actually took a different sandwich and put it right in front of her on the dog bed on the floor. And she wouldn't even think twice about going near it. So, guys, here's my dog. Made a mistake. She's 9 years old. She made a mistake. It happens. Key is how we handle it when these mistakes happen so we don't have to worry about them again later on. And it's the continuous training, part of that journey that I talk about every week. Zoe had a mental lapse. It happens. We all have them. It doesn't mean I'm mad at her. I don't hate my dog, blah, 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 blah. I was disappointed. I didn't have to say anything. She knew by my energy that was an unacceptable behavior. And she self-punished herself, for lack of better terms. So it's okay if your dog, when we're going through this journey, makes mistakes, because that's what it's about. I mean, we've all gone on road trips and made the wrong turn. Whoops. It happens. So, but if you have a dog that's constantly doing these things, counter surfing, stealing food, you got to set them up for success. Put food stuff on the counter that you know is healthy for the dog. God forbid they do get them. Set up a nanny cam system and watch and see what happens when you're not in the room. They start going back, come back in, boom, go. If you're not going to be sure, take something like a loaf of bread with the plastic, get some cans, drink some soda or something, get some cans, empty them out, clean them out, tie string through the cans, tie them to the loaf of bread. So when they go up to grab the loaf of bread, they drag it on the ground. The cans make noise, scares them a little bit. And they're like, ooh, crap, that wasn't fun. I'm not going to do this again. And it works. So there are different tricks. Don't be afraid of trying the different tricks with your dog to help you have the balanced, happy dog you want, because that's what this is about, isn't it? So if your dog, you're working with your dog, and I'm going to use, because I know Michelle's watching with Athena, they're going to make mistakes. I look at every mistake personally as an opportunity. And if you look at it as an opportunity, you can't get mad, because opportunities are great. So if Zoe made the mistake this week, it was an opportunity for me to reinforce what I expect from her. And she got it. Didn't take long. And again, the difference between Zoe and maybe some other dogs is Zoe's had this training since she was a pup. So it's easier for me to reinforce the behaviors that I want from her when she does make a mistake. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know in the comments. Um, and that's why it's so important. If you're working on something with your dogs, be it mastering the walk, leash reactivity, counter surfing, whatever it may be, master the one thing. I think a lot of problems that I'm seeing is that we have a list of things our dogs have these unwanted behaviors. They counter surf, they get into the garbage, they're leash reactive, they bark at everything on the street, whatever. They have 10 things that our dog is exhibiting to us that we don't like and we would like to change because they're unwanted behaviors. And why does it say I'm having problems with my stream? Guys, am I streaming okay? Can you let me know in the comments? I just got some sort of error that popped up, so I'm a little confused. I find that when I give her an item, she keeps stealing it, like a slipper. She no longer wants it. She just teasing me, wants attention. She doesn't really want the slipper. Yeah, and they'll do it. Remember, guys, attention is attention. Negative attention is still attention. It's how we handle it. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Like I said, something popped up. I wasn't even sure what it was. It could be on my YouTube channel because I've streamed this on both. So if anybody's watching on YouTube, let me know if that one seems to be working okay. It's real important to understand what your dog is doing. Like Michelle said, Athena will steal the slippers for the attention. And the problem is we give them the attention, so it ends up being they get what they want. And negative attention is still attention. And I related to the kid. They learn very quickly. It's like the kid that cries in the crib. I cry, you take me out. I cry, you take me out. I cry, you take me out. Well, guess what? I'll cry even though I don't really want to cry. So the dogs do the same thing. It's how we handle it that makes a difference. And that's why it's so important to me that we use that KISS theory of training, keep it simple, stupid, and use one discipline sound for every unwanted behavior. So if I was working with Athena and Athena stole my slipper, it would still be the same discipline as if she ransacked the garbage can. No. And my energy changes. I become very disappointed, and they get it. Like Zoe with the sandwich this week. It was the energy that, not the sound, that had nothing to do with it. It was the energy of her pack leader was disappointed. I wasn't happy with her behavior. I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't frustrated. I was disappointed. And, as humans, we understand the worst thing sometimes when we were growing up is our parents being disappointed with us. That was worse than being mad at us. So it's the same theory that they understand that concept. And that's what we have to understand. You can change some of the unwanted behaviors with just your energy. And it works, I'm going to say 98% of the time. Like I said, Zoe's not the perfect dog. She's a very good dog, but she made a mistake. I mean, what was that saying? Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I make mistakes. I can't throw stones when somebody makes a mistake. My job is to reinforce the behavior I wanted from my dog. And that's what I did, exactly that. And we were over it within 15, 20 minutes. I was done with it. She still wasn't. And I'll tell you now that with her, it takes, I notice when she has these unwanted behaviors, for the rest of that day, usually, she is so much better on her behavior. Even walking her healing is much better. She's very good at that. I took her off leash late at night when I go for my last walk of the night. She never once left my side. She went to, do her business, but she was much, much better because I think somehow in her mind, she was like, I got to be on my best. Michelle says, I give her a paper towel roll stuffed with treats or a cardboard box, and she loves tearing them apart, but Rob thinks it's training her to destroy things. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about that either. One, if she ingests the cardboard, it's not the most healthiest thing for the dog to eat. That's why they have those Kongs. They have better things for them to get the treats out. I think there's a company called Red Barn or something like that that makes healthy like bones where you can stuff them with treats and they have to get the treats out freeze peanut butter in it or something in it. I'm not thrilled about giving them something because, again, if she happens to see the cardboard from the paper towel roll in the garbage, and she goes in there, knocks the garbage down, makes a mess, you're going to get mad at her. But she's just doing what she's been allowed to do. So I understand what you're trying to do. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I kind of agree with Rob. Rob, I got you back on this one. I'm not too thrilled about it, but again, if it's working and she's not causing any other destructive behavior, maybe it is a great way of doing it. Just because I don't necessarily agree doesn't mean it's not right, guys. And that's the beauty of what I do, is it's ever evolving. Just because I would never even thought of doing that, but it works. So who am I to say don't? This is just my opinion. Don't tell me he's right. You know, again, if it's working, great. Just be prepared that it could cause another problem. And like I said, my big fear with that whole theory is eating the cardboard there's glue in there, there's things like that are just not good for the dog's digestive system. And I never want to see a dog get sick. So again, guys, I'm going to be trying to start this new platform. I haven't got any feedback on it, so I'm going to ask you guys again. The platform that I want to try to do, I try to be creative and give her things to stimulate her, but watch her close. Well, I saw the thing you posted on Facebook with the cookie tray or whatever it was. I wasn't even sure. That looked like she was having a lot of fun and it stimulated her. So the new concept I'm going to try, guys, because we're about halfway through. So I'm going to put it out there again. I would really appreciate some feedback. Is still do my weekly coffee with Back to Basics, but instead of me just talking and reading the questions off the screen, thinking of having 3 guests a week, each doing 15-minute individual training with this individual. So if Michelle emails me a question, I answer the question, I'll read the questions and I'll bring Michelle on screen and we'll talk about it for 15 minutes and then we'll go to the next one. I'm trying to think if that would be a better way for you guys to understand. One of the things I say every week is, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. I think by offering this, you guys see that it's real. Beth Kath says, I want to thank you. Well, you're welcome. I didn't read the rest yet. Months ago, I wrote about my dog's food aggression at 14 weeks. We followed your advice and he's 100% better. Beautiful. He is still a jerk with chew toys, but we just don't give them often. And when the kids are around, and that, Beth, thank you, because I always ask for the feedback on what we do here, and the feedback lets me know I'm helping, and that's why I ask for the feedback. But that's great, and you can do the same routine. I don't remember exactly what I told you, but it's usually the same routine. Is you have to own the food, you have to own the chew toys. Don't give dogs chew toys if they're in an excited state of mind. Because if you give it to them when they're excited, you're rewarding their excitement. And in their minds, they're saying, that's mine. You're giving it to me. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's my toy. It's not. It's yours until it's yours. You own it. You bought it. They didn't go out and go to the job and work for their toys. So if you give them the toy when they're calmer, and again, I would do this with a leash for safety purposes. You give him the toy. Him the toy. Let him play with it, and then start. Okay, drop it, leave it, whatever you want. No, I don't like leave it. So drop it, and if he gets guarded, wait him out. Be careful. Don't challenge it. Challenge him by waiting, not challenge him by. But you wait, keep yourself calm, and let him go through all his nonsense. You got the leash on, so you're safe. And eventually, his mind's going to say, "Okay, well, I'm trying this with my toy, and it's not working. Okay, what do I do?" And then when you see a little bit of a change, that energy changes from to repeat command, leave it. And it takes some time, but eventually what they'll do is they'll walk away from it, and then you pick it up and you praise, praise, praise. And what they'll realize is, hey, I went through all this nonsense. I growled, I showed my teeth, I gave you that really stink eye, and all this nonsense. And I didn't get yelled at, I didn't get punished, I didn't get hit. And they said thank you to me when I asked, did what they said. They learn. And like I said, for anybody who followed me years ago when I worked with Duke, that's what I did with Duke and his guarding of the furniture when he was on the furniture. He got up on a lounge chair out of my yard. He gave me the sideways death stare that dogs do, and instead of getting get off, I don't, blah, 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 I was just off, and I just stood there. And it took 5 minutes. I don't remember what it took. About 5 minutes, and finally he lowered his guard. I repeated. I didn't have him on a leash. Off, and actually the second time I said off, I took a half a step back. And he got off, came over to me. He said, "Did I do good? Did I do good? Did I do good?" Because what normal routine is when a dog shows this unwanted behavior is our energy gets angry. We get pissed. How dare you growl at me? How dare you show your teeth to me? If that would just make me more scared or angry. So I take the opposite. I stay calmer and I just use very little words, very little sound. I use my energy to control the situation with Duke, and he got it. And then after that, the next time he went up there, it was just off, and he got off. He came over to me. Did I do good? You have to be careful. That's why I say use a leash. But it works. But it's time. You have to give it time. But there's nothing wrong if a dog doesn't earn or show enough respect to have the chew toy. Don't give it to them. Let them earn that. We don't have to give them anything. I have a teenager that's causing all sorts of trouble, blah, blah, blah. They got the driver's license. I should give them a car? No, they haven't earned it. So I hope that made sense, guys. So like I said, I'll be posting it out on the Facebook about the new platform that I'm going to be doing. And hopefully we'll get some good positive feedback from it. I haven't put this up this week, so I am going to put it up. Guys, remember this. Energy is the form of communication we have with our animals. The quieter we are, the better I think they'll be, the better we'll be. Silence is golden. It really is sometimes. And when you come to working with animals in general, silence is much better. Use your energy to control the situation. You can do this with the human animal. You can definitely do it with the canine animal. I'm not sure about cats because they're weird. They're their own. But your energy is going to control it. You'll be happier about it because you'll be calmer. Your dog will be happier about it because you'll be calmer, which in turn will make them calmer. It's just all part of this journey I talk about. And hopefully this journey will help us in our everyday lives with not only our canines, but with other fellow human beings. And we'll start changing this world one person, one dog at a time. I mean, it's a passion of mine. I think you guys know this about me. But with that being said, I'm not getting a lot of questions this week, so we're at about a half hour. We're going to wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. Remember what I said in the very beginning. Watch the temperatures out there. If you're working with your dogs, don't overdo it with them. Keep them plenty hydrated. Anna, thank you for asking the question. Hi, I have a 9-month-old puppy that we have two issues. She won't stop digging and is very possessive of the bed. Okay, so my first question whenever I see the digging issue is, do you walk her? Structured walks with her. And when you're saying possessive of the bed, are you talking the human bed or the dog bed? So I have two questions for that question. And this would be, guys, a perfect example of the new platform that I'm thinking of doing, where Anna would email me her questions. I would invite her to be a guest for 15 minutes on the show, and we can directly answer these while she's there. So we get, live interaction, which I think is so much better than you guys having to type as I ask questions. But yeah, Anna, so my question definitely would be, are you walking her? And are we talking a dog bed or the human bed? Is she possessive of? If she's possessive of the human bed, she shouldn't be allowed on the human bed. At 9 months old, she shouldn't be anyway. So we had to wait a year. That's my rule of thumb usually when it comes to earning the privilege of being up in the bed with humans. If they're digging is usually, and again, depends on the breed. So I got to be a little bit careful here. It depends on her breed. But digging is usually a sign of mental frustration. They have all this mental stimulus going on. They don't know how to release it, so they kind of dig. And that's why I ask about the walk, because don't forget the walk that I designed, which is on my YouTube channel, a playlist called How to Leash Train My Dog in 5 Easy Steps, is all about the mental stimulation of the dog. And the more mentally stimulated they are, following my following my directions, thinking about what am I going to do next on this structured walk? Am I going to make a left-hand turn? Am I going to make a right-hand turn? Am I going to make a figure eight? Am I going to turn my use a pit box? So yeah, that's just her happy-go-lucky goofball shelter, and she was always did enforce. She said, "Wow." The shelter said she always did in Foster. Always dug or walked. Again, the walk, Anna, I think would definitely solve a lot of issues. Also, could solve the possession of the bed. Um, like I said, the structured walk that I set up, and I will put this out on the Facebook pages. I'll put a link to that playlist on my YouTube channel. Remember, if you do watch those videos, please subscribe because I'm going to be doing a lot more with videos. I'm working with somebody who's going to help me with this. Digging. Yeah. And the digging is, like I said, the mentally frustrated part. You got to challenge her brain a little bit more. And that's why I like doing the walk. The walk is designed to mentally stimulate them and not to stimulate them in an overstimulus way. Actually, a way to stimulate them to make them tired. We walk her every day and take her to the park 3 times a week. Okay, so you walk her every day. Is it a structured walk or is it her doing whatever she wants to do? Because if she's doing whatever she wants to do, you're not challenging her brain enough. And I sound like a broken record. And anybody who's used this technique, I don't know if Donna or Rich are on this week. They did it with their dog, who was pretty much the same issues. And once they mastered the walk, boom. But the walk has to be structured. It can't be her sniffing, doing whatever she wants, going left, going right, zigzagging, doing all this stuff. That's not what the walk is about. That walk is physical, it's not mental. Going to the park 3 times a week is physical, it's not mental. We as humans need to do more to mentally stimulate our dogs, and not in a mentally stimulated, excited way. Mentally stimulated, thinking about what we're going to ask them to do next. So again, when I designed Mastering the Walk Back to Basics style 30, 40 years ago, whenever the hell I did it, it is about mentally stimulated structure. We're doing leading commands. It's the same routine. Should we change it? Yeah, definitely change it. You need to change it. And even when you go to the dog park with her, control the excitement at the dog park. One of these days, I have to get together with my daughter and son-in-law about using their husky, going to a dog park to videotape it for you guys. The amount of excitement going into the dog park, and I've seen it too many times, is too high. If we learn to control all the excitement, I mean, you got a Pitty Lab boxer mix. You got 3 happy-go-lucky goofballs all wrapped up in one. So the excitement level's off the chart. Our job is to reward the calm. And I don't know if you've been on this platform with me before, but I always talk about rewarding the calm. Stop with the excitement. If you go to the dog park and she's excited to get in there and run around with her play, don't let her in. Make her go into the dog park calmly. So the first gate, before you get into the area where you take her off leash, she has to go in like into that gated area like a lady. Then you take her off leash and you don't let her into that dog park area again until her state of mind is calm. What you'll find out, and I've had people tell me this, is they let the dogs into the dog parks, dogs running around, they're calling the dog because they want to leave, and the dog says, screw you, I'm not coming back, I'm having too much fun, because you didn't control the beginning. It's all about rewarding the calm. So if you want anything to succeed, you got to get to a calmer state of mind, because in a calmer state of mind, you actually can give better directions. So definitely change up your walk. If you haven't watched my playlist on Mastering the Walk or How to Leash Train Your Dog, I'll find your comment. I'll put it as a reply to one of your comments on Facebook here, the playlist for it. Really watch all 5 episodes. You can watch the first 4. The 5th one's the same one as the 3rd one, but in reverse. It's coming home from the walk. But the most important one on that one, and anybody who's followed it understands episode 2 is the most important. It's about threshold management. Threshold management is key to all the success. And then, of course, episode 3 is more about the structure of the walk, how to actually make the walk look. The beginning part of the walk should not be about sniffing, smelling, peeing, pooping. It should be about classroom. We're in structure. You're following my directions. Episode 4 is about smelling, peeing, and pooping and all that. But there's a certain structure I set up. And on a closing note, just to show you how important the structure of the walk is, I just recently down here worked with a couple that had 2 labs, brothers, same litter, had some issues where pretty much on a daily basis, these dogs would go out 2 or 3 times a day. And what they were doing, they're at that age where they're fighting for supremacy, pack leadership, whatever, because they didn't feel like there was any. And all we worked on, and this was going back 3 or 4 weeks ago, we worked on structured walk. You guys, they had to master the walk with these dogs. I got a text from him last week, basically, and said, "Wow, we've been doing the structured walk. We've been taking them different places, working one at a time, working both at the same time. And since I've left, they've had 1 disagreement. The 2 dogs. How cool is that? So from maybe 1 to 3 disagreements per day to 1 in 3 weeks. And that's all because of the structure. That's how important the walk is, guys. I can't stress it enough. So anybody who wants to really master some of your dog's unwanted behaviors, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it. I'll give you the links and get it out. Watch them. Master episode 1 before you go to episode 2. Master episode 2 before you go to episode 3, and so forth. It will help with the digging. Possessiveness of the bed, it's very simple. If it's a human bed, they shouldn't be allowed on there. I'm working with somebody down here. She has 4 dogs. There's 1 little Dachshund Chihuahua mix. I won't let any of the dogs up on the bed. Yeah. Definitely, and check it out. And like I said, subscribe because I'm going to be getting more content up on my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm working with somebody who's going to help me out here. That's why I asked you about this new platform. It was their suggestion. We're going to be posting it out there. Like I said, emails. We'll invite you onto the show, and we'll do 15-minute segments with people live interacting with us, with our audience, to try to help more people. Because I do believe this saying here, together we can help 1 dog or 1 family at a time. But getting back to what I was saying about the bed, same thing. We changed the narrative. We told that little Dachshund Chihuahua mix, you're not allowed on the bed anymore because you haven't earned it. And now, again, this is 3 or 4 weeks later, from what I've understood, it's getting better. The other dogs are allowed up there. The dog isn't trying to protect anything. But go back to basics, man. No pun intended. Dog doesn't respect that bed, get it off the bed. Put it back in the crate. I don't care. You're not allowed up in the bed. And they shouldn't make the decision to go up on the bed without permission. Invite your dogs onto the furniture, guys. Don't let them just go up there. I come into the room every night. Zoe comes in with me. She waits till I invite her to come up on my bed. She will not make that attempt on her own. And if I don't invite her, guess what? She sleeps on the floor. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're at the 40-minute mark, so that's good. We got an extra 10 minutes out of this. Thank you for your questions. As always, guys, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every Saturday morning. You don't understand what a true honor it is to do this platform for you guys. So every week I'll be here. Like I said, I may be changing it up for a different day or different time, Saturday or Sunday, because of some of the events that go on around here that I need to be participating in. But we haven't made that decision yet. So as of now, next week, we'll be here live. Again, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every Saturday. I really do appreciate it. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And remember, together, we can help 1 dog and 1 family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.